All right. Okay. Hi. Welcome everyone to your India versus England first test review. We'll be covering the game at Trent Bridge, sorry. As usual, I have Luke joining me. I don't know if Shamar will be coming in. He said he'll try to make it, but we will actually see. Yeah, we'll just be reviewing this match. I'll try to do it a little bit more detailed this time because I actually have taken notes for every single session. Um, all right. Before I hand over to Luke, I just want to say that for me, watching this match, that I actually came away a little disappointed at the end because I'm here watching it and I saw the great innings that VJ played and then the lower order batted and how India get to the total that they did, and then how England came out and performed. And I thought England responded well, especially that last minute wicket pair with Anderson and who was it, Joe Root. I thought they batted very well. Um, but for me, my complaint comes. I don't know if anybody says nitpicking, but my complaint actually comes more so when I actually look at that India had like they were into the last day. I can't remember what it is now, but they were in a position like the match has been not ended up drawing. And to me, I'm here thinking like India went in and batted to they were in at tea at I can't remember what total was, but 300 or something plus in the league, and they had one session left. And I'm asking myself, why hasn't India declared? I mean, I know the wicket was flat and that it did not work in the favor of the bowlers, but for me, I'm thinking to myself, why not declare? I mean, like, don't you want to at least make the game interesting? It seems that these days is a pattern in cricket where teams are more worried about if they've made enough runs than actually trying to bowl out a team. Like they don't have that sort of confidence in bowlers because from my perspective, I'm looking at it and I'm going, wait, if if say they made 250 and they declare at 250, then England's in a position where they have to try now and make the runs quickly. And if you set an attacking field, you increase the chance, even though the wicket is flat, you increase the chance of players going out there and playing some kind of wild shot to, get the scoreboard going. I just don't like games that just end in a draw because it's like, well, you know where this is going. There's no way that England can make any runs in the last session. So it's like,
Well,
yeah, you said something, Luke?
no, I was talking to my mom. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at it and I'm saying to myself, why is it that they didn't actually declare and at least make a game out of it? Because I can see England coming out there now and feeling the pressure. Like, all right, we got to make these runs. We may get them, we may not get them. You can give away some chances and make the game exciting. I think like teams these days make Test cricket way too boring, man. It's like
It's
I
true.
mean I enjoy the game. I watch all the days. It's like yeah, it's fun, but then come to the end, it's like why would you bore people like this year? Why would you create a game now where yeah, the teams just go out there and like all right, we contented with this draw. And I heard Mahendra Singh Dhoni say at the end, they didn't know if they had enough runs. I was like, but if you make 250 in a last day wicket, even though it's flat, you put pressure on the team. You know, I
That's
mean,
one reason. That's one reason I respect Michael Clark a lot, not only as a player but as a captain. I remember the last tour they had down to the West Indies, and I think it was a final day to come, or it was a day in a session or something. So, and you only had two something, 300 runs, and people saying, but why this man declaring now? What he really doing at all? And I said, just wait for it, boy, because you never know. Cricket is a funny game, and the pitch could play for 4 days like a belter, batting track, just fill your boots and get your runs. But on the fifth day, cracks might come up, something might happen, never know. And sure enough, Australia, of course, by not winning that match, just as it did the last Test match, West Indies did in England, declaring overnight. Um, just over 300 runs. It was pretty much Boston's wicket throughout the whole Test match. In fact, if West Indies had batted properly, you could say they would have had a very good chance of winning the match. But McCullum took the risk. He knew there was a big risk in taking the declaration overnight, and it all for him. Sometimes it fails, sometimes it don't, but that's cricket. It doesn't always go your way. Probably win.
Yeah, your thing cutting out a little bit though. I don't know if it's the connection or something, but your audio going in and out.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I just don't like games like that, because I mean I'll give both teams props and I'll go through that when we get through the individual sessions, but it's like teams of old of attack, man. I mean, you give the game that excitement, people to 15 ultimate or to 70 or whatever the case is. All right, how England gonna do this here now? You got people tuning in, and yes, I can't start one how you want to. They will want to say well the wicket was flat and it favored the batsman, but any team that battled on last day and has to make runs in a short period of time, unless you decide you're playing for a draw, that's another thing there. Don't know what England would have done. But I just think you have a chance of making runs. You can go out there and attack. And like I said earlier, when you go out there and try to attack, you know, the
Always great.
players will you get chances. Exactly, somebody can give up a chance. And if the fielders are sharp, you get your wickets. And that's the thing about cricket. It's a very funny game. So I just don't like that defensive attitude of teams. Really, I think they help actually kill the game when they play that sort of way. So, you know. But Lou, you have anything to say about both teams? Because even though I'm reviewing, I haven't actually got a chance to actually go through both teams and see like the players. So anybody in this game for you before we get through actually stood out for you that you say was helpful or played good or should have played better?
Um, well, yeah, let's just go through the teams here quickly. India, of course, winning the toss and they decided to bat first. On, of course, as we have stated before, is a batsman-friendly pitch. Um, a belter really. If you didn't take your chances with the new ball, you were setting yourself up for a long day in the field. And as it showed with England, they didn't really take advantage of that new ball. Two, they got one wicket with it. Sorry, um, just the wicket of Shikhar Dhawan. Um, yeah, let's just go through the teams here quickly. Um, it will be let's start with India. Murali Vijay open with Shikhar Dhawan. Cheteshwar Pujara, he's been looking very good since coming into the Test team against Australia and India. Virat Kohli, you all know what a wonderful one-day player he is, but he hasn't really made his Test mark on Test cricket as yet. Jinky Rahane, same thing. IPL star, hasn't really made a mark on Test cricket yet, but of course looking to. MS Dhoni, he's been captain of India for some time now. Ravindra Jadeja, another IPL star. Stuart Binney as well. And then we have the fast-paced trio of Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Ishant Sharma, and Mohammad Shami. So it's definitely a Duncan Fletcher team in my opinion. You all know he likes bowlers down the order who can score you some runs, and that's why he went for Stuart Binney and Ravindra Jadeja. Though I think he maybe missed the mark with that. I think he could have gone with um, Ravichandran Ashwin. He's been since he's come into the Indian Test team and One Day team and T20 team really. He's just taken the stage at light. He's been very consistent, taken a lot of wickets, and gotten turn really when it seems there's none. So for me, I'm not sure why he wasn't playing, but hope to see him the next game. Um, then let's go through the England team. Alistair Cook, Stuart Robson. I haven't seen too much of him, but he looked good against Sri Lanka. Gary Balance, Ian Bell, Joe Root, Moeen Ali, Matt Pryor behind the stumps, Ben Stokes, Stuart Broad, and then Liam Plunkett and James Anderson. One thing I'd say about England is that they're definitely missing that frontline spinner, um, and that definitely hurt them a lot. It didn't hurt them too much in this match, but you could definitely see it hurting them against Sri Lanka, and they may want to give a little thought to that. Yes, Moali can turn his arm over, but really, you look for those kind of bowlers in one-day cricket, especially if you have a score on the board. You could just throw a part-time spin of the ball. Like Dhoni will do it on occasion with Virat Kohli. Um, or he'll even do it with, or Michael Clark would do it with himself. Um, Sammy will throw maybe sometimes Samuel's the ball or just a part-time bowler just to go through a few overs. The batsmen will obviously try to have a go at them because they're part-time. They don't bowl all the time, so they won't be used to taking wickets that often. Um, so there'll be pressure on them, you know. But for me, England really missing out on that front line spinner. They need to reassess that form of attack because clearly they're placing a lot of pressure on the new ball bowlers like Plunkett, Broad, Anderson, and they're not coming up with the wickets. They're coming up with them at the end, but by that time, 457 all out, the damage has been done really, and it was up to a mammoth partnership really between Joe Root and James Anderson that rescued them from innings deficit really. Anderson with 81 from 130 balls, and Joe Root 154 not out from 295 balls. So really, for me, the starting lineups, it couldn't have gone much wrong, but England will just want to assess that attack of maybe throwing in a front line spinner.
All right. I agree with your sentiment there. I noticed that in this game they definitely lack the spinner. Who that guy play for? So you don't see Maury Lean then as a he plays for England, right?
England, yeah.
You don't see him there as a viable option as a spinner for them.
He's not a bad bowling option. He'll bowl wicket to wicket. He'll get a little turn if the play is conducive to it, but um, as it pertains to a wicket taking option, maybe not so much. As I said in one day cricket, he'll be bowled tight enough that the batsman going after him will produce a couple of chances, but as it pertains to you actually outsmarting him actually outsmarting the batsman and getting wickets through his own guile, changing pace, different deliveries. You just don't see it happening really for him.
Okay, okay. And I heard who was it now? It was Dhoni, I think it was that was saying in the interview. I think that they needed an extra bowler in the attack, an extra pace bowler in there to perhaps add more to the bowling attack because I guess they realized that they're struggling in that department. Though I don't think they bowl that bad, but um, I guess it's a case we're going to see, especially I don't expect Lawrence to be anything like Trent Bridge, so I guess you'll see how that goes from there. Um, so yeah, let's get into it then. Let's discuss it. Like I said, I wrote notes for each session, so I'll try to go through sessions because a lot of them, some of them were pretty flat and some of them were pretty exciting. So we have day one. Um, I'm gonna get the names wrong. So what he said his name was Shikar Darwan. That's his name, right, Luke?
Yeah,
He received a lovely delivery which made him play, and he was brilliantly caught by Cryer. It was a slanted seam and good delivery by Jimmy Anderson. So you saw early on Jimmy Anderson take the wicket there, and that was 33 for one. From that point onward, there was actually a good partnership between Murali Vijay and I'm gonna call him Pujara, first name. I'm gonna get that call out good. But they both look very good, and VJ eventually reached his half century by lunchtime. So, a good opening partnership there, good opening spell there for both of them. VJ looked really good out there, and yeah, Pujara looked good. It's just unfortunate he wouldn't carry on from there. But yeah, I'll try to run through. I don't know. Let's see if I can go through the whole, go through 2 3 sessions. Let's see. All right, so right after lunch, this session two, no, right after lunch, the ball reverse swing and City Mignon takes a sharp catch to get rid of Pujaro. That was Ian Bell there, and that ball came back in really, really well, and that was Jimmy Anderson again. They
Yeah, I
saw
think
Jimmy Allison and we
it
go.
was a smart thinking on his part because he kind of saw the. I think maybe he and Cook may have had a discussion, throw the man there, and then put him at ceiling mid on, and then maybe bowl it off, cut to some sort of slow delivery that cut back into him, and of course, if he went into the shot maybe a little too early, and it just opened up to Bell. But it was good captaincy, good bowling on his part for true.
Yes, it was. That was a very sharp catch. So, Pajaro looked good, but unfortunately he did carry on, and I can't fault him too much for that. So, maybe experience, those things, but I don't know. So, Virat Kohli, oh boy, he pushes out the ball. To me, he could have left that one alone, and he gets a simple catch to the second catch, to the second slip. I think that was, take Ian Bell, yeah. And that is the first wicket that Stuart Broad picked up. So India at this point is 107 for three. Um, Vijay decided that the best thing to do was to become more attacking and not hang around there. So he started becoming more attacking. He started pushing on the ball a lot more, and him and Rahane actually carried scored up to T from 107 for three to 177 for three. So um, I guess that session will go on mixed. There's a little bit of both, but may give England I don't know, the slight edge, the two wickets there. Um, so yeah, 177 for three. They went into lunch at. We have session three here. Rahane gets a short one from around the wicket by Plunkett. Pulls at it, which hits the toe of the bat, and a simple catch to Cook, who was right in front of the stump. So,
Yeah,
um,
free dismissal
slow
really.
ball, nice slow ball there. And slow ball is such a dying art in cricket. You don't
Mhm.
really see enough of them. Like for me, I always think about Malcolm Marshall bowling those, and you always mess with the batsman. If you could bowl a good slow ball, you usually get the result.
Especially if you don't, especially if you don't change much in the action and in the ball handling. You'll see some people like soon on the Rhine if he bowls the off spinner, I think it is. His finger is on the ball, and when he's turning it away from you, the thumb is off the ball. So there are those little things that batsmen look at, or they'll try to look at and try to pick when you're bowling a certain delivery. So if you can manage to bowl a good slow ball or a good change up delivery as a spinner and not change much in action, then it works much better for you. One thing I wanted to mention on Kohli dismissal, you'll see a lot of Indian batsmen, especially in India, they'll be running the ball down to third man, um, especially when it bounces up, because they'll know they could trust the pitch, not behave in a way too drastically that's going to bounce too high and take a top edge, or like police dismissal, take an edge through to the slips. But in England, you have to be careful because the ball's swinging around, and it's going to bounce a little bit more than India. And just have to be careful with your handling outside the off stump. You have to watch where your off stump is and really be careful because, as I said, it bounces more in India and more susceptible to taking that outside edge going through to these slips.
Yeah, very good point. Very good point there. And look like that for this game, Kohli didn't look that sharp to me. His two dismissals there was like, a lot better expected from him. And those wickets put pressure on India, as you will see. Um, as the game continued, they hurt them too bad here, but yeah. So they went in there at lunch. Yeah. So we said Rahane, sorry, he got out there. That was 178 for four. Vijay continued to bat, and he brought up his century. This is his fourth Test century, and to me, he went out there and batted. He batted very, very good. He played a respectable knot. Even though early on a lot of balls would have been going through the slip cordon, but you know, I can't say anything bad about that. And I think it was a very good knot. Luke, you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, it was a very mature innings. It's the first time he scored a lot of runs outside the subcontinent, so it would do a major boost for his confidence. Um, the 100, it was his fourth overall in 23 matches, came off 214 balls, 18 boundaries. But as you said, a lot of those through third man, um, a few through the cover region, so you can see his strength is in the offside play. But really and truly, he's an all-round player. Um, they tried attacking him with his short ball, but it didn't really quite work out. He was able to just either duck out the way or nudge it around for a single. Um, there was a lot of bottom hand from Dhoni in his innings, but we usually expect that he's a very risky player. But VJ really batted sensibly, and as I said, his first 100 outside India, he'll feel very confident going into Lords now.
Right, sorry, I have myself muted there. Um, yeah, 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 Dhoni, yes, okay, right. Dhoni definitely batted in this game. He did get a lot of edges through the slip. I mean, he was pretty lucky there at certain intervals not to actually get out there. So, um, what else do we have here? Like it's that actually brought me my next point. Dhoni, like a number of shots were played through the slip cordon, but just did not go to hand. England carried a pretty attacking field, and I was saying here that reminded me of the old days of Test cricket, with what Luke was calling the other day the umbrella field. Um, and it's always good, when you go down to. That's one thing I like about cricket in England because you know the ball's going to swing, so you tend to set the field a lot more attacking for the players to actually go out there and the bowlers to go out there and actually take wickets. So it was always good to see those sort of things. So um, that was good there. The session ended um, at the end of the day at 259 for four. So um, to me that was a pretty okay start for India to end the day, and yeah, I don't have any complaint there. I thought Jimmy Allison bowled very good early on, and you can see having that veteran experience in the team actually adds a lot to the England team. So yeah, 259 for four, and then first day. Go, have anything to add?
Um, no, not really. Dhoni just came in, looked to take control as he usually does. Um, his wrist work is very good. I'm very impressed with that. He's able to place the ball exactly where he wants to, purely from his wrist work. Lot of bottom hand sometimes in the driving, but he's able to control it, as I said, with the wrist work. Moeen Ali, as I said before, he leads some runs when he comes on to bowl, especially on a batting track like this. Um, uh, yeah, just going back to me, looking at my notes here and just keep writing. England need frontline spinner, need a frontline spinner. Um, just reiterating the point. Um, it just Moinali just didn't look like really producing that wicket taking delivery. I don't know what has happened to Monty Panasar, but either he or somebody could have come in for this test match as well, especially since it's against a Indian team and Sri Lanka. Maybe they could have brought somebody in for those series, and I'm not sure what the thinking is behind it. Maybe they think that they're more susceptible to pace ball and the swinging ball, but they're not using the new ball well enough to produce results for that kind of thinking really. So they have to reassess their form of attack and come back at Lords with a better plan in mind.
Yep, totally agree there. Totally agree that they definitely need a spinner. They definitely miss Grant Swan, and it's clear as day. Um, yeah. Um, so Dhoni gets dropped on 50 by Pryor, who was diving to his right. A catch that I believe Pryor should have taken, but you know. Um, moving on. BJ continues on his brilliant form, stroking the ball through the covers and looked very good through the onside to me. I mean, he played good all over the wicket, but he looked especially good to me through the onside and some of those cover drives, man. He played, it was just very masterful. Um, he would eventually dug out for 146. Very good knock there. Jimmy Anderson brought one back in off the pitch to VJ, and he was given incorrectly LBW. The ball was actually adjudged to be going over the top of the stump, so he was hard done there, 345. And I actually have here in my notes, there were at least 3 bad umpiring decisions in this match. Um, I mean, I know they're human beings and all that, but I don't know if at this level should an umpire be making 3 bad decisions in a match? Lou, do you think that's something that should be happening? Like, or what is it okay for umpire to make plenty of wrong decisions and because
I
they're
think
human at the end
I
of
think
it?
maybe umpires are getting maybe a little too much used to the technology. You see a lot of DRS being used. Well, although the DRS is only used when the players want to, so you can't really state that as a motivating factor. But um, yeah, there was a lot of wrong decisions this match. Shouldn't have been. So usually expect more than that from umpires. Um, but interestingly enough, the decisions when the wrong decisions, I should say, went against India, and they are the ones who called off the RS for the series. They didn't want anything with that at all. So I just found that as a bit of a funny irony um, going on for this series, especially if it continues.
Oh, I didn't actually know that. That's very interesting. It worked against them.
Yeah,
So,
commentators were saying it at various intervals in the first few days. I found it very interesting as well to see a team they come to England, sorry, and they deny using the DRS, and now it's coming back to haunt them. Really, they could have had DJ still there, um, and a couple others, I think.
oh yeah, oh yes,
But yeah, it was definitely a hard decision there.
yep. So close is 150, but that's so critical, sir. Um, what else there? Jadeja came out, and to me, he was batting like he was in a T20 match.
Correct.
He was hitting sixes all over the place.
Just
Um,
look to hit everything. Once it was on the length, it was wide. It didn't matter.
it's
He's
gone. It's just clearly gone. I mean, I don't mind that test cricket. You take that attacking approach. The guy made 146 gone. Why not? Why not go out there and have a go at it? And then you have Dhoni there battering you also. So, oh boy, you know how that could go if they really. So then just went loose. But they went into lunch at 342 for 5.
5, yeah.
Yeah.
Then
Um.
after
Yeah.
lunch, I think Stokes gets Jadeja again. He's flashing outside your start playing and attacking innings and get caught in
Like prayer.
prior, yeah,
Yeah.
for 25 or 24 balls, and then not soon after, Dhoni's run out from a brilliant piece of fielding from Jimmy Anderson. I find it funny how a few of these bowlers tend to be quite agile in the field. You see Suleiman Ben taking a good few catches in the gully. You see guys like Jimmy Anderson also in the slicks in the gully. In this occasion, he was in the covers and just thought quickly. But yes, I just want to get your thoughts on that, especially some of the bowlers seem to be pretty agile in the field.
It's like days gone by with Test cricket where you would have had like the fast bowlers. I remember Courtney Walks, for instance. Well, how like those guys would just field on the boundary, and it was like the batsman would just hit the ball down there because they know that they could get easy runs there, and that'd be no problem. But I realized that as cricket's gone on over the years, that teams have they want to eliminate the weak link in the field, and they don't want the fast bowlers to just be good for bowling quick and not actually being able to feel agile in the field. And I guess that's where you probably see increase in the fielders of the attacking the fast bowlers, sorry, fielding within the circle and all that sort of thing, because I guess they want to get them in that mode where they're like anybody else. So I think that's a very good thing in cricket because now you shouldn't really. It was very stereotypical, the fast, and once they hit the Courtney Walsh, she's probably guaranteed to jog through comfortably, maybe he'll pick up two if he took his time. So it's like I like that cricket has actually changed to that point where the fielders are becoming more agile and being able to contribute a lot more because
Yeah,
gone are the days where you just have a player performing just one duty, one guy just being a specialist batsman and that's it. And as we saw in this match with Alistair Cook, why not take out the ball and do something with it? So it's like get that more versatile nature in the game. So I think that makes the cricket a lot more interesting and exciting to see some of these things because I don't know if in Dhoni's mind he thought, what, and Jimmy Anderson, maybe I can make it because I'm fast, but what a great surprise he was in for to then turn in his favor. So yeah, that's my
I find it interesting. I find it interesting because then you see men like Chris Gayle who fell in only two or three places, and if it's anywhere outside the 15-yard circle or 30-yard circle, away from the bat, then you're asking for trouble, because Chris Gayle generally feels flips or short, maybe wicket short extra cover. Doesn't
oh yeah,
really venture anywhere else.
that's very true. Chris Gayle is the weak link in any team, so you can find him anywhere else.
Correct.
Um, yeah, so as you were correctly saying there, Dhoni got run out. Um, I said brilliant throw. Vinny didn't hang around either. He flashes a wide one and holds out to root backward point. So you know
Yeah.
this was his debut game, right?
Yeah, debut for him and just a flash outside Austin. Both for one. Didn't really trouble the scores. Um, who was in next? It was Bhuvneshwar Kumar. And then of course they had the Ishant Sharma didn't last very long either, bowled by
Fast,
Stuart
fast,
Broad.
yeah.
Uh, but then they had the massive partnership between Mohammad Shami and Bhuvneshwar Kumar, who really took the attack from England. That although they favored, although they track favored batting, England came back with the new ball, getting those 2 wickets. But then, of course, once that new ball was done, their attack was pretty blunt, as we kept seeing throughout this Test match. Um, then, so as you saw, the two 50s for Kumar and Shami. Kumar's coming up in 133 balls, and Shami, the more attacking batsman, is off 73 balls. And of course, we saw India ended up just before the end of day two with 457 all out, leaving England with a tricky few overs to get through. Um, and Cook, as I just want to get her opinion on his form and if the captaincy, having the captaincy thrust upon you suddenly, as was the case in his position, how that can affect your batting performance and your batting form. Because surely, as a batsman, and in the case of Ramden as a wicket-keeper batsman, he now has so much to think about. Not only, okay, I'm looking to get down and watch this delivery from Ben, so he could bring it in, the arm ball, or he could turn it away, get some bounce, and I gotta watch out for that. So he has to be watching the ball. Then he has to be then he has to be thinking about the fielders, where he's gonna place them. Then he has to be thinking about um, his innings and how he's gonna approach it when that comes. No, he doesn't have the same problem as Cook because Cook goes out there right away. But just yeah, just what are your thoughts on that? Because surely the captaincy, having it been thrust upon you, um, you have a lot of different things to think about, and surely all of that has to affect your batting performance. As we've seen it against Cook, he hasn't really had a match-winning 100 or a match-saving 100 that we can speak of very recently.
Yeah, very true, very true. Alistair Cook was one of those guys that I was saying, he's definitely stable for um, the opening scene and the opening of the innings. And I haven't really followed Alistair Cook's career that closely recently, but I can't actually say I've heard anything about him either. That had the internet and a buzz to say, well, Alistair Cook is performing better. He's batting well and all that. I don't have any, like you
I
said.
think it was just that one. I can't remember which year it was. I can't remember which year it was, but I think I think England won the Ashes at home, and then they went to Australia in the winter of that same year to play the Ashes again, and that was the only real series where I remember Alistair Cook stamping his authority.
That's when he made his double century.
Yeah, I think he made a double century, and then he made a few other hundreds.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, though.
Yeah, I gotta try and
Long time
remember. I
ago.
gotta try and bring it up here now if I can find it. But yeah, that was the only real series really where I've seen him come to grips with being an opening batsman and scoring those big hundreds. Because as an opening batsman, you have two jobs really. One is to blunt the new ball, for when the middle order comes in, they can fill their boots and get a lot of runs as well. But the other job is for one of you, if your partner gets out early, then your job is to really back the rest of the innings. It shouldn't matter in a test match anyway. It shouldn't matter whether you get them a lot of runs in quick time or if you have to graft and grind your way to 100 in 2 days. But one or the other, you have to make sure that they're when the end of the innings is there, that you're there, or you've just gotten out. Um, let me see. His highest test score would have been 294.
Against who?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. No, no. That's it. That's it. Crap. All right, I can continue looking for it. But anyways,
Yeah.
just to continue on from that. Um, yeah, he's had a rough time of it lately, and Cammy saw him. I don't know if you saw it in his dismissal, but Cammy saw him coming across the stumps, and
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was just.
visible clearly, and Shami, smart thinking by him, smart brought it back in, and it just came off the pad onto the stump.
Um.
Sometimes you will see balls coming off from the pad onto the stump, and you say maybe a little unlucky, but on this case, I have to say good thinking on the bowler's part.
You remember though, like I can't remember if it was when Lara was captain for West Indies and they have it out to England, I think it was, and you had Lara like consistently jumping across his stumps. And I think
Mm-hmm.
it was Andrew Flintoff that would always get him out. They
Yeah,
actually him delivery.
always going out.
So even as great as Lara was, he was still having.
I think his favorite ball to Laro that series was swinging Yorkers on or above Midland leg.
Yep.
If he got it good enough, it was crashing into leg stump, and more often than not, it did.
Yep. Yep. So Alistair Cook, it is a lot of responsibility being a captain of a team, and yes, that can play on him too. And I think that definitely affected his form, and a lot of people don't really want to take captaincy position because it's just too much responsibility. So um, I guess it's something he will have to think about in the foreseeable future because if he doesn't perform in this test series, he's up the order is going to put some questions about him being in the team and him being a captain because how can you be a captain of a team? I mean, even if England comes out of this series and they win, and he goes through the series, his highest score to speak of is maybe 150 or something like that. it will still raise questions, especially how England media is. They were like, this guy really should be captain. He's not performing. Yes, he's leading the team, but we need you up the order to make runs, and that'll be a factor there for them. So, um, I guess it's really think about for him if he really wants to continue on with that responsibility. To go back though to something to go back early to some of the notes you were making there, it was amazing that India lost 4 wickets in just 4 runs, and that's a serious state of their order there. You didn't get that that strong performance there from the middle order when you really need them to come through. I mean, they were cruising along earlier with Vijay and Dhoni, but the middle order just won behind the nets. I don't know if they were money West Indies or something. I don't know.
I think it was it Dhoni that started that landslide?
Yes, but everybody just decided to follow the leader.
Once Dhoni got run out, then Jadeja followed, then Binny, then Sharma, and they almost looked out of it, but last partnership saved them really.
There was actually a chance there for a caught behind for Shami. I think that was from Stokes. I can't remember. I think it was Stokes boy. I can't remember. And it wasn't really much of an appeal, but it actually showed in hot spot that he actually did nick the ball, and the umpire gave him not out. So again, another point that was it wasn't okay. Yeah, it was 4:31 for 9 is when that was before the second session ended, and they still went back on at another 26 runs or so. So not a bad umpire decision, but I can understand the umpire difficulty, with different noises and all that. So can't be overly critical for that one there, but yeah. As you said there, Cook got out at the end of the day. England ended it on 4-3 for 1. Shuffled way too far across the stumps, and yeah, that is enough about him and that. So I definitely need to see how that goes from here on with him. But Balance and Robson look very good at the end of the day. So set England in a very good position heading into day 3.
And then of course when day 3 started, it was it started just with a big partnership there by Balance and Robson.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. 125 runs added between the two, and really and truly, I like how Balance looks. I haven't seen too much of Robson, but seeing Balance on the domestic scene in a few matches already, then now seeing him coming into the England team under Cook, and I like him for a number 3 player. He looks the quality for a number 3 batsman just to come in, and I often find that players put at number 3 are often openers, and for me, he could do either role very well. Just to plant that new wall, wait for the chances to come your way, wait for them to bowl to you really, and then you work the ball around, getting your singles to start you going, move those feet, and then once you get into the groove of things and you've gotten a fair assessment of the pitch, then you're able to just climb into it and fill your boots, as the people would like to say. So really looks the he really looks the set for me. I don't know if you had anything to say on those two.
Oh no, I like both of them actually. I'm not really accustomed. I don't really know them, but the way they batted in this game definitely did impress me, and I think they're very solid up that order there. And if F Cook continues batting the way he continues batting, I don't think England will have too many difficulties down the road, and just throwing those 2 guys in there. So they look very good. Balance especially did impress me. So yeah. I was actually very glad to see that Dhoni had actually put a leg slip in place into the thing there. I mean, well, both teams did it, so I was very glad to actually see that actually being put inside the game. And remember we talked about it in our West Indies versus New Zealand tour test, and saying that we don't really get leg slips anymore. So there was actually a catch that almost went to hand there, but still credit for him there with that. So. They're going back very well. Well, how did we get though? It was They actually went on a battle through that whole session, 131 for one. Um,
Yeah.
so very good session there for them. Shortly after that, we had Ishant Sharma getting rid of Sam Rawson for a ball that came back in and it actually hit his back. It was an inside edge, and the umpire gave him out. So surprise, surprise, another bad umpire decision, and 134 for two for England. Um, Gary Balance gets a ball that dips in late, traps him on his crease, and he is correctly given out. So another one for Sharma, and this puts England at 154 for three, trailing by 303 runs. Um, Ian Bell to me looked like he was going to make a good set of runs. I've always liked Ian Bell and how he actually was about hand his game. So, but he didn't actually hang around too long in this game. I just saw he get out, can't decide if he should leave a lonely ball or play a shot, and then he played a shot and then pulled back his bat and you
Yeah,
know
I find if he had just gone with one or the other from the get go, maybe he would have fared better. Even if
I
he
was
had
thinking that also. Though. Yeah,
uh,
I was thinking that also.
if he had just gone for it, it could have gone over the slips or it could have gone over the infield. Something could have happened, but in the end, he didn't choose one or the other and ended up getting it through to the slips. But as you say, Ian Bell, one of my favorite players. He knows how to craft the ball, he knows how to get the singles, and he just knows how to accumulate runs. Had a very good series against Australia when they were in England, but of course, everybody had a bad series down under against Mitchell Johnson. But
Oh yeah, the terror.
Bell, one of my favorite Test players, one that you could always find in your one of my Test teams anyway.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He looked good. So it was unfortunate he didn't carry on there for England because he definitely would have added a lot of runs there for them. Um, what do you have here now? Moe Ali, no. So that when he got out, he got 172 for four, and that was the third one for Sharma. So Sharma was bowling really good. They were trailing at this point by 285. Moe Ali took his eye off the ball, and the ball hit his bat and spooned to first slip. So I was wondering if the case where the pitch was actually acting up or just a poor judgment on Moeen Ali's part. What do you think, Lou? You think it was the pitch?
At that point, for me, the pitch wasn't doing too much. Maybe it's just poor judgment, as you said, on his part. But for me, throughout the whole Test match, really, the pitch just looked a very, very good pitch. Very true. If it, you were almost always able to judge the bounce, and if you kept a good, if you knew where the off stump is, then you generally knew when you could leave the ball. You knew when you could go after it. If it was a half volley, you generally saw people put batsmen started putting them away. Um, but the new ball was probably the most crucial part of the match for both teams. And they got some success with it, but after that, and it was blunted, well, you just saw both attacks not able to really do much. And another piece of irony here, you just saw a lot of wickets falling in clumps. Sometimes once one wicket fell, you could be sure that maybe another one or two will fall quickly after.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. That was the team for this match, and they were simply mimicking one another, even right down to the last wicket pair, as we will get to in a little bit.
Yeah.
So Pryor gets up, pushing that one up to the off stump, and it's um, caught behind off the bowling of Kumar. He made just five, and it actually turned out that he was actually not out. The ball didn't even hit his bat. Um, so once again, fantastic umpiring in this game, and that is unfortunate there for Pryor. So 202 for six. Um, England trailing by 255, and at this point, it seems that England aren't going to get, they're probably not even going to follow on at this point. Stokes
Yeah.
doesn't add anything to the score. Stokes just goes out there, pushes that one for Kumar, and is easily caught behind. So 202 for 7. And this session clearly went to India because India took 6 wickets for just 74 runs in this session. So, well done to India in that session. They clearly dominated it. And as we said just now, wickets falling in clusters. So, but that would basically just be it. Basically for India, they didn't really get any real high points after that. Broad Root batted like a house of fire, just tore through the ball in the top. Especially Broad at certain points, and he batted nicely. So, but eventually don't get out though from ball that swung back in late. Hits Miller leg, and he yeah, the goals LBW, I think. Um, yeah. Luke, what's your thoughts on Street Bench 47? 280 for 8, trailing by 177. Luke, what are your thoughts on Stuart Broad as a batsman? Do you think he's a good all-rounder for England? Like,
Um, I think he certainly has the potential. Um, of course, over the years, his bowling has taken precedent over his batting, but he could definitely, if he works on it hard enough and he keeps working on it. I found it very interesting. I can't remember which series it was. I think it was 95 or 98 series to England, and Lara was batting, and I think he was in the middle of a big hundred, and he didn't know some players would take lunch interval and say, "Let me rest my feet up. I got a big day batting ahead of me. Let me take my time to rest my energy, get a little food to eat. Maybe not too much, don't ruin it too much or whatever." But Lara went out there, went to lunch, and he didn't even go inside the dressing room. Went straight out to the nets and had a net session. Maybe he had a little food before, I don't know, but he basically just used his lunch session to have a net, and it impressed me because at that point in time, a lot of people were contradicting him and querying his level of commitment to West Indies cricket, and that just showed that really showed me, it really impressed me about if some people did that, some players did that, and you could just think that they could be maybe a lot better if you saw that level of commitment to what something they did, and it's just thinking if Broad put that level of commitment to his batting, maybe he could become the Flintoff that many were living him up to be when he first came in the squad. But when he first came in the team, people are saying, okay, this guy looks a lot like Flintoff did when he was a youngster, and maybe he could offer the same thing. He comes in with a left-handed batsman. He doesn't really look like he can bat, but once he gets his confidence going and gets into his innings, you see the confidence there, and he's able then to fill his boots. But I don't know. I think he could live up to that potential as one of the world's greatest all-rounders, but he has to work more on the batting, I find.
yeah, totally agree with that one. Totally agree with that.
Bowling is
So,
fantastic, but if he works more on his batting,
yeah, yeah, very, very true, very true. England always appreciate another flint off. So, yeah.
correct. Man,
Um,
back to that 2005 series when he bowled what kind of some are
oh yeah,
the greatest over ever bowled.
definitely England's best time against Australia.
Yeah.
Oh well, but flint off after that point, 2007. 2007. After that, he didn't really stand out too much, but
Correct.
yeah, he had his moments. England will always remember him as Freddie or as performing that way for them. So, um, what happened from here on out? Yeah, so he said brought up for 47. Joe Root brought up his fifth Test century. Um, Good knock there by him. Plunkett
Mhm.
chops the ball back onto his stump from an in-swinger by Kumar. And that's 298 for 9. And you see England at this point trailing by 159. So let's set that India takes this wicket, ends the game, ends the innings, and able to go and probably put on 300 runs or so on, and make the trail by about 400 and win the game. Um, but Anderson, the reverse sweeper, came out, and just he and Joe Root just dashed all over for that. He played some lovely reverse sweep shots to end the day at 352 for 9 and trailing by 105, after earlier being 298 for 9. So, I mean, very impressive performance there. I don't know if Jimmy Anderson thought it was his time to step up and prove himself as an all rounder, but um, yeah, and that just
Always,
continues therefore.
yeah, he's always been a stubborn kind of a batsman, one of those night watchmen, number 11s that knows they can stick around there and just really frustrate the bowling. Eventually, when they get frustrated enough, of course, they bowl to you and they start bowling erratically. But as soon as he came out, he looked decent and put on 81 fantastic runs.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So we can just basically sum up. Let me see. How long did they bat for? They bat for 2 sessions.
Yeah,
Root got his fourth Test century. They put on the highest,
third score of 150 or more too.
yeah, the highest Test last Test wicket partnership. The highest one before that was 163, by Phil Hughes and Ashton Agar. That was ironically enough at Trent Bridge last year.
And this
Um,
one
well,
198.
and this one was one a year. I mean, that was impressive.
Very
I don't think anybody's gonna get back up there. Unless they're playing on another flat wicket. So well
true.
done. They will eventually end the innings, however, at how did it end it now? They're both
Jimmy,
for 496.
they're all out for 496.
Yeah,
I think Bhuvneshwar Kumar just pitching it outside, just outside off. It was swinging away, and Anderson going for a flaring drive through the offside and just edging through to Shikhar Dhawan in the slips.
yeah,
So Bhuvneshwar Kumar had 5 for 82, so that was an impressive game from almost 31 overs.
yeah. Very well done.
Jami, two for 128. Ishant, 3 for 150 wicket takers. So, good performance from Kumar. Just I want to get your input on him. Another IPL star who burst onto the scene, as one who looked like he could swing the ball and take wickets early on. He performed actually admirably well in the IPL, and not too bad community test matches. So, wanted to get your input on him as a fast bowler.
Yeah, he definitely looked very impressive. In this match, I thought he was swinging the ball very, very good. The thing is, he's also a very young player too. So he'll only get better from here. I think he's a very useful bowler. I don't know if he's going to be necessary with. I don't know if would you say be their main bowler in the future because from like what was actually saying about him is that he just basically considered a like arm medium. He's not deadly quick. So, but then again, I guess like India didn't really have who was deadly quick for India anyways. Your can. So what you said?
Yeah, I would say exactly. India never really
Army
had
deadly
one of those
quick. Yeah.
standout quicks.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but he is very useful, and in these conditions here, you will see. I really expect to perform well in these conditions. The swinging ball and the swinging ball and the conditions in England. So yeah, but he probably won't be the. But maybe he will be their main bowler. But yeah, like he said, he's young, and He is very useful there for them. So I expect to see a great performance from him throughout the rest of this tournament. Yeah, so a good performance there by him. You know, very good performance for him. Um, I guess, but as Donny said, they could do with an extra bowler in the attack. So
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll be working on that. You know, as time goes on to ask somebody else to do attack, but still gonna see can take those wickets on a flat wicket. So yeah, so now India had to come out and bat. England actually ended their innings there with a lead of 39. Um, the Hawan of Vijay batted well in the beginning period, starting off a little edgy, but eventually they settled in. Um, and Dhawan, I think what happened in Dhawan's case now? Dhawan, okay, Ali bowls a full toss. Dhawan advances, and he actually turned it into a low full toss because he was chipping down the wicket and gifting Ali a simple cut and ball. And the front wicket fall now at 49 for one. How much did Dhawan actually make in his second innings? He made 29. So, you know, overall in this match, he didn't really do too much. He looked okay, but he didn't have any runs there to really punish his belt. So, um, India goes in at 57 for one and lead by 18 runs now. Vijay goes on to miss another 50, so he's in great touch for them, and they're definitely gonna be happy about that. India. Pujara also brings up his 50 this time, so good performance by him. Um, with Vijay's dismissal, he seemed to be beat for flight to me, and was confidently stumped by Matt Freyers. That was 140 for two. India, now leading by 101. Pujara batted well before he got out. I actually did not see Pujara's dismissal. Lou, how did Pujara get out?
Pardon?
How did Pujara get in second innings?
Oh, Pujara. I think he was caught. I can try and look at and see here. No. But while I do that, I was just wondering your view on VJ, though. How you think about him as a player?
I'm very impressed by him. He batted brilliant to me. He looked very comfortable there. And like I was saying earlier, I especially love when he was going through the onside, and he batted really well. I mean, and it's like kind of hard for right-handers you find to play through the onside. On driving and that sort of stuff. He didn't really on drive in this match, but like he looked very good through the onside, and then some of those cover drives he looked good also. And yeah, he definitely looks comfortable in that role. Yeah, sorry, say?
Yeah, it's true. He looks a very compact player. Just getting back to Pujara now, he was just playing outside or standing there. Plunkett since coming into the team has been given the role really of just pitching short. Once the new ball's gone, he just pitches short all the time. And it wasn't really a good short delivery that got Pujara this time. Just one of those deliveries that you think you get in the middle of the bat, you think it's gone past the fielder, but Stokes at point there with a good piece of fielding and hit it back up in the air with his hand, and then was able to catch it on the second bounce. But it was another good 50 from Pujara. He looks pretty settled when it comes to Test match cricket. In T20s and ODIs, you'll find him a bit rushed, because obviously you have to score quick runs. But when it comes down to Test match cricket and buckling down and making the runs in a long period of time, he's really your man.
Oh yeah, very, very much so. So a good performance there by him. I just hope that Dhawan can get some runs in the Hawan, get some runs in the next game, um, to add to his thing. So yeah, the day ended on 167 for three lead. 120, lead by 128. And now we get to the final day, and yeah, um, Broad brought back in one to Kohli, who is trapped in front of the wicket, and not very good two innings by Kohli. This, um, they look that good to me. So
Yeah, just another player I want to bring up really. He hasn't come up too much in test matches, but your look on Virat Kohli more of a flashy one day player, or can he adapt his game to a test level?
I believe if he is going to adapt his game to test level, he's going to have to do a lot more work. In the shorter form of the game, he looks classy out there. And I see him as a player that could play Test cricket, but I don't know if it's a case where like his mind is just more conditioned for the T20 or the maybe one day format that he's not fully there with the test level. Because obviously in T20s you're gonna have a limited time to bat, so you get to do what you have to do. But I see him as a player that could play there, but I really think he's gonna have to work harder on it, or just tell himself he's not gonna bother. But I don't know. I see him as one player that could play in all forms of the game, but he's gonna have to do some work if he really wants to perform. If he really wants to show himself as one of those players. What's his form really like though in Test cricket though? I mean, let me see. Um, about 25 innings, 25 matches. Averaging 44.35, 600s and 950s. Has a very, very good average, but by then T20 now is what 27 and averaging 45.30.
Well,
One day format, he's averaging 52.16. So it means like it clearly seems like if he could, to me I've always said if you can play 50 over like games in one day cricket, you should be able to pace yourself well enough for a test match. Because
correct.
50 overs is a lot of overs to be batting.
A lot.
Um, yeah, look at it. So I mean, you probably just need to focus a little bit more. But I guess we'll definitely see as this series continues. But he definitely has the platform that he can prove himself over these 5 matches. So he didn't hang around. Rahane didn't settle in and he pushed that one, so it's off stump.
Yeah, that good bit of bowling again from Broad. He just brought it back in just a little bit and
Reverse swing, I think.
fishing outside or start fishing for it really again.
Yeah,
Still
I
on.
think it's reverse swing actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was 175, 173 for play for India. Wow, so you know, tough, tough going there for them. Dhoni goes to play through the onset.
That just brings back. Sorry, just that just brings back your point that you made. I think it was when the video first started. Why Dhoni didn't really declare because you could clearly see that from the way the ball was behaving on the track that it wasn't as the baton on the fifth day as it was on the first 4 days. So going into T with a slender lead could still have been dangerous for England really.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. With that defensive mentality. Ugh, yeah,
Next to go I think was
Dhoni.
Dhoni.
Yep.
Ball swung from Liam Plunkett and he going for an expansive drive really just cannon into the stumps middle and off. Plunkett, another player who's coming back into the fold really in Test cricket. He performed fairly well against Sri Lanka. I remember him getting a 5 wicket haul in one of the matches. Uh, your opinion of him since coming back into the side?
Oh, I've actually seen much of Plunkett actually play. To me, I did. To me, when he was in the team before, I wasn't overly big on him. Um, I was more looking at Broad when Broad came in. I was like, okay, Broad is definitely looks a lot better, but I was never really a massive supporter of Plunkett. So for me watching him this time around, I guess he's gonna be more open-minded because I didn't really follow him. I just thought he was more like a, you know, just a fill-in to
Yeah,
me.
I haven't really followed him as much either, but interested to hear the commentators what they said about him that last couple of years, last year or so, he's really picked up his pace. Um, so that I think that's one of the reasons they picked him in the England squad. They want a really quick, fast bowler, and you could see the role he's been given. Majority of occasions is to bowl short. You saw it very much in the Sri Lanka series. Not so much this test match, but of course the series has just started. But
Yeah,
um, yeah, it's, uh, I like him better this time around. Of course, as I said, we never really followed him when he was first in the team. I remember he was really primarily a one-day bowler,
yeah,
but now coming into the test team, he looks a little better. And maybe if he's not forced with the short bowling tactic, then he may pick up a few more wickets. But he looks pretty good.
yeah, yeah. So he should be a useful bowler, But I'm always open to surprises when it's when it comes to cricket. So let's see how it goes with him in time. So yeah, he got it with
That
Dhoni.
it was a pretty big partnership. Well, not big partnership in terms of runs, just in terms of time spent really between. I think it was Jadeja and Benny.
Benny. So yeah, you see the DJ again getting himself involved in something to help the score push along. Um, 3 wickets for 63 runs in this session. We enter session two, and this is the session that I believe that India should have said, all right, make as many runs as we can, try to get lead up to 250, and declare our
And
next
it
second.
started out that way. They started out looking like they were playing aggressive, and Benny especially was going for his shots when the opportunity presented itself, and but really wasn't afraid to take the attack to England. If they were bowling short, he would stand up on his back foot and punch it through the covers. If it was full, he would drive, whether it was through the covers, through the onside. If it was outside off, he would leave it alone. But he played very smartly. But as you said, Dhoni could have maybe had that declaration halfway through that session. Maybe give them a timestamp, like a half an hour or hour. Go out there and smash the ball to all parts. If you get me a 200 run lead or a 250, then that's enough. We're gonna call it, and we're gonna go in. And even if we don't get, even if there's not much a chance that we can get 10 wickets, we're gonna, go out there and put them under pressure because only the first test match. There's still another test match at Lords to come. And the thing I used to like about test match cricket in the old days, especially the 5 match series, was that first test match. You saw a little bit of a fencing kind of a start to it. You just feel out your opponent, and through after that first test, momentum carries. Through that first test match, whoever has the momentum usually carries it through. And sorry, excuse me for that, but yeah, if India had just put them in and maybe put them under pressure, got 2 or 3 quick wickets coming into Lords, now you might think they might have the upper hand just a little bit in terms of momentum, and maybe they could have carried it through. Not sure what your opinion is of that, but I just think if maybe they put some pressure on England, especially with that umbrella field, maybe they might have just a little bit of fear might have cracked into England, and you never know, you might have seen it skittle out.
Yeah, and my thing is to you look at the fact also that we saw how Alistair cut back in the first innings, and it's
Exactly.
clearly a case where he's struggling. If you put him out there on a pressure situation like that, he's gonna want to prove that his team can go after the total, and it's gonna put him under more pressure. And I think that he will more likely make a mistake. They get his early wicket there, and then you got the coming down the order there, some pressure actually being placed on the rest of the team. I really
Mm-hmm.
believe it would have been a very interesting match. I just don't understand this defensive nature of playing the game. They go out there and do something. Don't just play it to a draw because I mean I may hear the commentators saying is a case that Kumar and I think it was Benny was batting. I can't remember who he batted with. He said that these guys don't look like they want to come out and bowl. Kumar doesn't want to bowl. He just want back. I'm like, this is the last session you're heading into. You want back. You don't want to go and take some wickets. You want to just play for the draw. Yeah,
I,
makes no sense.
it didn't quite make much sense to me the way they were playing, really. But hopefully we see some more attacking cricket during the series. But yeah, Dhoni might have missed a stat there.
Yeah. So that's why I label this video
Okay.
still boring draw here.
Pressure on.
Pardon?
I was just mentioning, as you said, just to put pressure on Cook, even just throw him in there.
Psychologically speaking too.
Psychological impact going into the second test.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. So the game ended up being a still boring draw there. Benny got his maiden 50, so good performance there by him. He did eventually get out playing defensively to a ball from Moeen Ali. Um, it actually turned up quite a bit, and it wasn't hit him middle off. It seemed. Um, so he got off for 78 there, 340 for 8. Um, and yeah, just had Kumar makes another 50. That's fine, but who really cares at the end of the day? He could have been out there bowling. He's not. He's not his team for his batting. He's his team for his bowling. So should have been declaration long before that 50 came. But we get to the magical moment for Alistair Cook. So maybe that gives him a little confidence. It shower players that want down the leg side, and the keeper gets it, and Cook gets his first Test wicket. So
Yeah.
he ran around celebrated like he just got out. I don't know, he just got made 100 or something. He just won the Test match. So he's just running around his hand pointing, and he's like it's a big celebratory moment. I mean, boy, So yeah, first Test wicket. I guess congratulations. They actually said if you retire right now, you'll have an average of 7. So he may go on as one of the best bowlers in history. Never bowl again, I don't know, but I guess just having fun at that point because they realized that India wasn't going to declare, and they probably weren't going to get the guys bowler anyway. So,
True.
391 for 9 was how the match ended. Like I said, it should have declared, but they opted to play it safe, and I made the game very boring in the end. Started good, good back and forth, a lot of information there between these two teams, and a lot of stuff that they can take away and look at. But when you look at it all, you see, even if they didn't win, you could psychologically put pressure on your opposition. Let England know, hey, even if you do beat us, we are showing you that we're coming for you, and add some pressure to the game. Have confidence in your bowlers and your team that you can actually do it. But I guess that was too much to add. So I guess both teams walked away happy with the draw. So the series is still 0-all, and we head over to Lords in the next game. That is going to be when? That's Thursday, right, Luke?
Yeah, starting in
Yeah.
about 6 hours, 7 hours.
Oh yeah, that's certain time. I actually saw the Sri Lanka South Africa one had actually had also started.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, so yeah, that one. Second test there, they're going to play 5, and the series is going to end August the 19th. So we still have a lot of cricket there to cover where they're concerned. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Boring game at the end there, but for the first 4 days, I would say very exciting cricket, but not very happy with the end at all. So yeah, that's just my thoughts on that. So Luke, you have anything to add, and then we will just wrap it up from here.
Yeah, as I said throughout my notes, the main point has been England need a frontline spinner. Um, so going into Lords, but Lords isn't generally conducive to spin bowling. So I honestly expect them to go with the same lineup, but they may think they may have second thoughts, sorry, on a frontline spinner, and I hope they do. But generally, Lords with the slope tends to favor fast bowling. Especially the guy was lethal at Lords. I remember him almost every tour he went to England. He was destroying England batsmen at Lords. Um, so once you know what you're doing and you're able to swing the ball, so Mohammad Shami, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, when it comes to limelight there really at Lords because that slope, as I said, it will just tend to cut back into the batsman, so into the right hander away from the left hander usually. So if you use your bowlers well enough, then it can be dangerous for England. But of course, India have to deal with the same thing. So Broad, Anderson, they'll likely be among the wickets. I certainly hope it's not a draw again, and I don't expect it to be. Lawrence is generally not. It's generally you can generally trust the bounce in terms of batting, but it's I wouldn't really call it a Trent Bridge pitch in terms of easy runs and lots of them. So we should expect a winner coming out of this match.
Hey, all right. Yeah. If this one is a draw again, I probably will probably come back on YouTube and rant again or something because they really need to play attacking cricket. I can't sit down and watch a test match. I mean, I was in a position where I could have actually sat down and watched this game, but I find it very hard to sit down and watch test cricket live and that sort of stuff. It's easier for me to just watch the highlights and take notes because it's just so lot, You get a couple teams. I expect this South Africa versus Sri Lanka one that we're gonna be reviewing to be very interesting there. Because South Africa, to me, I always like South Africa team. Sri Lanka has a
True.
very interesting team too. So that's gonna be an interesting one there. But yeah, I hope not for another draw. That'd be awful. Um,
Definitely.
doesn't do the sport any good. So
Not at all.
definitely expect a result to go one way or the other. Um, yeah. So hope for a better game next time. All
Yeah.
right. So, yeah.
Whoever's really interested and looking in on this stream, you can, and you're interested in the South Africa Sri Lanka game. That score was actually on stumps 268 for five. Um, you could just go through the teams here quickly. Alvaro Peterson, Dean Aylger, Faf du Plessis, Ashim Amla now starting his South African Test captaincy. Avery de Villiers, Quinton de Kock is going to be the keeper. And then you have JP Duminy, Vernon Philander, Morgan Marco, Dale Steyn, and Imran Tahir. But the score right now 268 for 5, and at stumps, South Africa batting first. And Elgar, Dean Elgar scored a century. He was out for 103. Du Plessis got 80 and Alvaro Peterson 34. Not much to speak of from the others, but yeah, that should be an interesting series as well, really.
Yeah. So I definitely will look forward to review. Definitely look forward to reviewing that one there and seeing how that actually turns out. So yeah. So everyone, thank you for joining us. So let us know in the comments, below, what you actually thought of this test match, and how do you see the series turn out? Is it going to be England's series? Um, India, how is Alistair Cook as the captain? Should Dhoni have declared? Do you agree with me, or do you think that he was right in actually going and back into a boring draw, in my opinion? Leave a comment below. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I know it's long, but just watch through what you see that actually stood out for you, and yeah, just leave a comment, and we definitely appreciate that. Subscribe to my channel here at DGen Inspires as we continue to cover cricket and football. didn't get through the CPL competition, but we'll try to cover the finals for that one for sure. See how that actually goes. But that's gonna be a lot of research to actually check out the games that they played and see who actually how they actually played through the tournament to give a better analysis. So we'll cover that. You can follow Luke on Facebook at Luke Stout. They say you can subscribe here at DJN Inspires, and you can follow me here on Dharma24. If you want to, Facebook Darren Nichols, but Twitter and YouTube here as well, mainly doing my stuff. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining in and tuning into this, and hope for a better game next time. And yeah, we're out.